Hey everyone. So I'm a bit foolish and I forgot to record me showing the layout of everything, but I wanted to at least show you like what the stat distribution was for this. Still not really perfect for this, but this is a pretty easy loss sector with the right setup and the right positioning. So here you have, I'm using Osteostriga, Velis X, it's a Void Pulse Rifle, one of the seasonal weapons from before, and then Commemoration, which is from DSC. So going into this, this is just going to be me explaining the rest of it, but sorry again about not recording what the layout was and why. Okay, so coming into this, you don't have to deal with this first major here. Uh, it's not going to bother you, so just keep on moving. You want to kind of clear out these first few enemies. Be careful about the fact that the hobgoblin's able to look at you, and then you kind of want to play out of this left corner. It just gives you a pretty streamlined line of sight here. Keeps the enemies that are on the balcony up there from hitting you. You can jump up on top of this machine. You just want to kind of strafe a bit to ignore it. And then Osteo is really good in this loss sector because it just provides you with a lot of cover, and in the sense of like there's just a lot of ads grouped up together, especially in this beginning part. And then also the damage over time is just really helpful. I'm using the second chance gloves on the Titan. That way I can throw my shield at them, get an overshield myself, and then also it will benefit me in the sense of being able to break the barriers. So here, now that we take out the barrier champion, we're just gonna kind of pick off at the Hydra here. Again, Osteo is really good because as long as I get the shots on him, then it will just burn him down. So coming up here, you can play off the right side of the stairs and then just deal with the ads real quick. You might accidentally trigger one of those ads that's in the back that just kind of hangs out. But since we didn't this time, we'll just leave them alone. Then you're going to run to your second champion, the Overload. Shouldn't cause you too much of a headache because you should be able to clear out all the other ads with Osteo. And then plus Osteo being able to proc Overload is great. So this ends up being one of the better loss sectors to farm because it's pretty quick. And it's very simple. Even getting the flawless is easy. You don't even have to kill all the ads in the last section. You just have to kill what you need, basically. Coming over here is going to be the third champion. On the left is going to be a barrier, so we'll just burn it down like we did the other ones. Throw my grenades, so that way, ideally I could have my shield there, but since we didn't need it, and that's why we have a Velis X, so that way we can go ahead and deal with the barrier. Your champion got some health back, so we'll just save that and for the next round. And the nice thing about this is that the sooner you are able to deal with like everything else, the easier it will be for you to focus down the barrier. Make sure everything else is taken care of. Alright. And again, as long as you didn't trigger this ad over here on the left, you can just leave them alone. Careful about the pool of Vex juice that's on the ground. Alright, now that the overload's dead, that's pretty much the last thing in this section that can really threaten us. Let the volatile effect and the osteo poison do its work over there. And there's another ad that as long as you leave him alone, he won't bother you. Okay, now we're coming into the last section. Wait for those guys to disappear for the portal to open. Alright, so for this one, I recommend just very quickly jumping over the ledges there. That way you don't have to deal with the timing it out. If you die, you'll have to worry about timing it out a little bit more. Or you can wait for it to reset, but then you want to kill this goblin and kill the minotaur and the goblin over there as quickly as you can. And then you want to try to deal with the hobgoblin above you. Then after that, you can pick up the arc head. And then quickly but carefully kind of take out those other two. That way they don't are able to pick at you from range. Then the third one over there. Alright, and then this right here is your position you're more or less going to play out of for the rest of this. You can stay over here. You don't have to clear out any of the other stuff on the other side. You can get line of sight there and quickly use the arc head. Just be careful, but you can use the arc head to kind of do a lot of the burst damage to your barrier over there. Break the barrier. Yeah. That's fine. But yeah, if you get the rotation down, you can very easily do a lot of burst damage to that. And then this spot right here gives you lots of cover. Really, this gives you lots of cover from the Cyclops that's going to be picking at you from range over there. You still get a little bit of splash damage on occasion, but for the most part, you can always back off and kind of bait out his shot. That way it doesn't hit you. Alright, now that the barrier's dead, you can just go ahead and shoot those little nodes there for the Cyclops. And now that we've done that, there's kind of no more barriers, no more champions to really deal with. You're just dealing with the boss. This part, take it as slow as you need to. Again, you can play around this top section over here. The harpies will still come around the sides and poke at you, but the Hydra itself can't get to you. Osteo is really good for this part as well, because any harpies that are near the Hydra are going to spread the poison to it, and then also if they die to the poison effect, they'll give you some ammo. So now you just take this pretty slow. It's pretty straightforward from here. After you kill the Hydra, there'll be one goblin typically that's like under him, but sometimes even the Hydra will kill it for you depending on where it dies at. The Hydra also has little health pools where it will spawn more harpies, so just be careful of that. It's like 2 or 3 waves, but they're not really anything pertinent as a threat. You just burn them out as they come at you. And again, you just play around this corner here, and it should keep you relatively safe. Sometimes if you go too far to the left, the Hydra will shift over to the right to get an angle at you, and then it can kind of damage you a little bit more, but you can dip down between the ledge, or you can drop off a little bit and then let it reposition itself, and then you'll be ready to go. See, as you can see here, it's kind of like moving a bit to the right, but it still can't really hurt me. And unless it does that. Yeah. And see, if you get back over kind of to the left a bit, it will kind of go shift over to the right. So you kind of want to stay not too far off to the side if you want to keep it center with you. But for the most part, it can't really hit you, or at least gives you enough time to react to the little bit of shots it gives, that you're able to either dip down under the ledge or reposition yourself and drop down. For the most part, nothing super crazy here though. It's just killing this and then killing the harpy. This is still a pretty easy lost sector to farm, because it's just this. Like, getting through that first protection is going to be the hardest part, and as long as you play it carefully inside of this room fighting the Hydra, you'll be fine. You kind of want to prioritize getting the crit shots when you can, that we can poison, and then deal with the harpies when they come to pester you. And then there you go. And like I said, sometimes that will land right on top of there, and then you just carefully make your way over to the chest, and you should be good to go. You don't have to deal with any of the other ads. Like, you can ignore that guy. He can't hit you if he's on the other side of that wall. So, boom. Good luck and have a good day, everybody.